Hey, what's up everybody? It's the Cartoon Gamer 8000 here with a brand new video for you guys to enjoy. Now before the video gets started, I just want to tell you guys something. You see, I was originally going to upload a top 10 video about a week ago, but something happened that stopped me from doing that. There was a leak in my roof near my workspace, and it just so happened to be leaking directly onto my laptop of all places, and all of my top 10 stuff was on that laptop. But don't worry, I'm getting that thing fixed, and if it doesn't get fixed, I'll just replace it, and then I'll redo the whole top 10 for you guys, because I love you guys so much. Don't take that too seriously though. In the meantime, enjoy this little video I made for you guys in my spare time. Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie are two of Rare's greatest pieces of work. These two games also contain one of the biggest mysteries in the history of video games. Stop and Swap. A mystery that has remained unsolved until today. I thought about for quite a while what Stop and Swap was all about, and I think I figured it out. The keywords here being I think. Not sure if I'm 100% right about this, but I can't be completely wrong about this. But before I give out my theory, I need to explain the history behind this mystery, in case you don't know already. It all began in 1998, when Banjo-Kazooie was released for the Nintendo 64. So at the end of the game, once you've collected all 100 Jiggies, Mumbo Jumbo shows you 3 animated pictures of areas in Treasure Trove Cove, Freezeezy Peak, and Gobi's Valley. In these areas are 2 mysterious-looking eggs and a key made of ice. However, there was no way to actually obtain these items, as the areas were inaccessible throughout traditional means. Years later, 2 guys from the Rare Witch Project hacked Banjo-Kazooie, and they discovered in-game cheat codes that opened the way to the key, the 2 eggs, and 4 eggs that were never mentioned by Mumbo Jumbo. And what do these things do, you may ask yourself? Well, Mumbo says they're supposed to unlock secrets in the next Banjo-Kazooie game, Banjo-Tooie, and you were going to be able to transfer these items to that game. The way to do this was going to be by stopping Banjo-Kazooie and then swapping it out with Banjo-Tooie while the Nintendo 64 was still on within 10 seconds, since that's how long the old N64 model would keep a game's memory if it was taken out while it was still running. In theory, that sounds like a really cool idea, right? Well, there were a couple of problems that would ultimately lead Stop and Swap to be dropped. That rhymes. So in 1999, a year after Banjo-Kazooie and a year before Banjo-Tooie, Nintendo came out with a new Nintendo 64 model, and this model only kept 1 second of a game's memory if taken out while the system was on. Now, you would need to be as quick as the Flash to swap the 2 games and keep the memory retained, and not all of us are gifted with super speed. Another reason Stop and Swap was dropped was because switching games out while the N64 was still on could prove to be really dangerous to both your games and the system itself. Like imagine that you take out Banjo-Kazooie and then you put in Tooie, but you don't put it in the right way. You know, like the image doesn't pop up, you have to put the game in the right way. You know what I'm talking about. I really don't want to think about what could happen if I screw up and my game starts. Ugh. So Rare really had no other choice but to cancel the whole Stop and Swap idea. Sorta. Now in Banjo-Tooie, there are 2 areas in Spyro Mountain and Jinjo Village. In these areas are cartridges of Banjo-Kazooie with these little cute googly eyes. Once you hit them, they drop the blue and pink mystery eggs and the ice key from the first game. The eggs unlock a special move for Banjo and Kazooie, homing eggs, and the ability to play as Jinjo in the multiplayer mode. And the ice key is used to open a vault in the icy side of Hellfire Peaks, and inside is a Mega Globo. You give that Mega Globo to Humba Wumba in the Pine Grove, and it'll allow Kazooie to turn into a dragon. That's pretty cool. But the big question that a lot of people ask is, what would Stop and Swap have actually unlocked if it wasn't cancelled? Well, here's where I give my theory. I think all the unlockables that you get in Banjo-Tooie were originally supposed to be unlockable with the eggs and the key from the first game. And if you know everything there is about Banjo-Kazooie, then you know that there were 3 levels that were originally going to be in that game but were moved to other Rareware games. Those 3 levels are Hellfire Peaks, Glitter Gulch Mine, and the third one I'll get to a bit later in the video. If Stop and Swap wasn't cancelled, I would think that these levels would be inaccessible without the use of Stop and Swap. Maybe the ice key would get you to the icy side of Hellfire Peaks. Maybe. Another hint at what Stop and Swap might have done is found in Rare's Grab by the Ghoulies. You know, that game that caused a lot of fans to lose their faith in Rare, me included. In the game, there's a chalkboard that says, get ice key, collect 4 eggs, and open secret level. The secret level could have been Cloud Cuckoo Land, as it is the last level in Tui, and it's a rather strange level to say the least. Now there's just one more thing I want to go over. Some of you may have heard that Donkey Kong 64 was originally going to be connected to Stop N Swop. Now I wonder, what was it going to do for that game? In Donkey Kong 64, there's a level entitled Fungus Forest, which was actually a level in Banjo-Kazooie known as Fungi Forest, but it didn't make it into the final product. It was moved to DK64. Maybe Stop N Swop would have opened up that level, and I'm getting way too deep into this. Well, to conclude, it really is a bummer that Stop N Swop had to go from this super creative idea to a giant mess of speculations. But I really do think that all the unlockables and stuff is all still there. It's just all unlocked from the start. You may not agree with me, but I say that one of gaming's biggest mysteries has been solved. Now all we have to do is figure out what Stop N Swop 2 is all about. Here we go again.